5:15, I'll call the meeting to order. Any public comment?
I'd like to make a short public comment. You know, we just had this recent election that was just about everybody that could vote voted. I'd like to thank Lori. She did one hell of a job. It was well organized. We had a lot of new people because you needed more people there for that, and they were trained. They stepped right in, and everything really went smooth. So, you know, that doesn't happen by accident. Yeah.
Congratulations, Lori.
Any other public comment? Third and final call. Moving on, minutes from the previous meeting.
Sorry. Not in there. Haven't gotten to them.
Nuisance complaints.
There's 3 to 2 that are court things that have been on for a while, and then the third one was that noise thing that Corey's people investigated that we were just talking about. So I don't know if you want to explain it more to...
Yeah, I don't know the date of the original complaint, but we thought it was a, loud neighbors and whatnot. Our lieutenant got there and couldn't figure it out, couldn't feel it himself, couldn't hear it himself, and it was not a neighbor or a typical nuisance. So I've since talked to her. She's tried a number of things at her own house, tried locating it, and it's not traffic, it's not neighboring farms, it's not the hydro plant. So it's really up in the air. I did have water utility go over there and listen with their devices to see if it was transmitting in on water lines or sewer lines, and I have not heard back. So undetectable by us and not in our typical wheelhouse. So
All right. Discuss and consider approving the vouchers.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers. I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none.
On page 11,
Oh,
I was waiting for Mr. Weiss. He always just throws one
That's
in
all
there.
right. That's right. I'll let you have the first word tonight.
Okay. Where are we at with all the heating and cooling systems at the fire station? I mean, it's been a mess for years. Happened before your time. Just wondering where we're at.
Yeah.
All right. Any other
So-
questions?
Yeah, I think probably the big one that was in there was from the south side units. They continue to deal with issues on when they built the station with the use of some residential units versus commercial units, and the uniqueness of trying to heat and cool, kind of like any office space too. Some people like it warmer, some like it cooler. So I think I did consult with Rod on that one, just because I'm like, hey, how do we want to handle this going forward? So we ended up replacing, I think, the condenser on that one instead of a full-fledged, because if we look at replacing like a whole system, we're looking at a couple $100,000 to do that. Interestingly, since coming back from vacation, I found out that on the north side that we're having an issue with the heating on that side too. Now, granted, those rooms aren't typically occupied. That's got the EMS supply room, Bay 5, some storage, the SCBA rooms over there. So I know we contacted Complete Control here too to check into that one now too, because we do the typical, reset them and check filters and stuff like that. I think that one time the ignition went out on one, I think from spiders were in it. Yeah. So I really don't have a good answer for you. I know that positively though, like during this past summer, the humidity issues that we've addressed, with that have been pretty good. And so that's been a positive, but as far as like the heating and cooling, some of those units still, aren't as great as they should be. So we kind of replace them and fix them as we go.
I'm just wondering if some budget eventually you should just throw a line in there and just redo it properly like it should have been, instead of nickel and a diming us.
Yeah, and the other one that's going to be coming up too, not necessarily heating cooling, but we are once again will be close to working on the wall sealing,
Yeah.
the sealing of the exterior walls again. That will be due. Interestingly, we did have some pretty significant discoloration and deterioration on the north side the northwest corner. And actually, we brought in Sean Kimmons out. He hasn't been able to complete the work yet, but it was a rain shear issue where it actually was coming off the roof line, and due to the D-edge that's on there, it wasn't dropping straight down. It was following back under, and we were having some moisture issues there too. So he'll hopefully be here at this before the end of the year to address that as well. So unfortunately, I'm going to see a few more of those, but yeah, I'm not opposed. We can look at a bigger picture, larger scale project, but like I said, just trying to be mindful of dollars there too as well. So
Right, that's the only question I had.
Mark, you got
I
it?
have no questions. Thank you.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly reports. Chief Klug.
So tonight you got the paper copy for October in front of you, just due to my inability to get it out to everybody before I left on vacation here 2 weeks ago. So you do have under significant ones, we did receive our annual DNR grant again. That'll be around just over $2,300. That's a pretty consistent one. We started last month here distribution of our fire department calendars. Those for decades have been and continue to be a donation item from Church Mutual, and we just deliver them out in the community to inspectable properties. We also have some available at the fire station if anybody's interested in picking one up. We did have a couple conference that the Waltz one is one held in Madison. That's a joint labor management conference put on by the PFFW. Unfortunately, also end of October, we did have, I know it's pretty significant incident that occurred in the town of Merrill with the double fatal motor vehicle accident up on 17. And then also last month, we had a structure fire across the street from the fire station. Fortunately, that was limited to the basement. We were joking here before the meeting about the quick response for that one, so that was good. And it was limited, no one was hurt. And then finally, too, I did have, we do continue to meet, we're due again, and met with NTC and MAPS for looking at supporting a summer firefighter class for high school students, trying to work on an initiative there to get some high school credit and get some local individuals hopefully interested and get them on pace to maybe start by even joining the local volunteer departments, but then hopefully working their way maybe to our door sometime in the future as well. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions, comments, concerns you have.
I have none.
Gus, you got anything?
Mentioned to you at the hunting cabin to your cousin Steve about that program, because he just talked to you about it last week.
Yeah, so a retired battalion chief, Steve Hintz, now works for the youth apprenticeship program at the high school, and I have met with him as well too. Some of the uniqueness with that program is, in particular, off the top of my head, is we'd have to pay them, so that we'd have to create essentially a line item in the budget probably to do something like that. So it's perhaps still an option, but I'm optimistic that like a summer firefighter program could work, because what we ran into last year is we didn't have enough Merrill area students that signed up. And we couldn't get them, I don't know what, for example, like what Pine River's requirements are, but I know Russell and I think Corning both have an 18-year-old age requirement, which kind of limited high school students joining those departments yet. So perhaps some options, but that was one of the limiting things with the youth apprenticeship was the requirement to be paid.
I'm not going to open up a whole new door to different discussions on the menu, but I do have approval from the mayor to talk to the workforce development program, maybe see if we get stuff moving. So
With the what?
workforce development in the state.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Mark, you got anything?
Nope.
All right, moving on. Chief Bennett?
Our usual report format's attached, and As you can see, the special assignments and activities was a busy month for training, between transitioning to new pistols, people going to extensive training. Officer Mathwick, Lieutenant Kaler finished LPO last month. That's takes a lot of time. Some recruitment and a lot of activity with the new hires that we've had too. Officer Barron started at the end of the month. Officer Zibton finished field training, so he is on the roster now, and doing great. So outside of that, I can take any questions that you might have.
So we have a full force now?
For
For
a
now.
month and a week now, I think, and then, yeah.
Okay. And you have any upcoming retirements on the way here
Yep.
that we should be aware of?
Yep, SRO retires just into the beginning of the new year. Technically, their last day is going to be December 20th. And then Captain Bacher's last day is January 10th, so
Okay.
this is going to be very short-lived.
So we have two upcoming.
Yep.
Do you have a list already
Not-
established?
We're
Okay.
actively hiring, so as you can see on here, we paid a visit to the NTC Recruit Academy. Surprisingly, they do not have, not everybody is spoken for. They have a rather large class going through right now. I was shocked to see how many were not already committed to another agency or already hired. One place we have not gone, and I visited, it should be on here, but it's not for some reason, is Mid-State Tech. We paid a visit there and did the same thing. They have more that are uncommitted. So we had a ride-along from Mid-State Tech this past weekend. We're going to have one this coming weekend, and it looks like two more coming to check us out. So,
That's good.
yep.
All right. Main Society's in there, nobody here, so we can't ask any questions.
I won't ask any questions.
All right. Consider placing the monthly reports on file.
I'll make a motion to put all three reports on file.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Date and time of next meeting, December meeting will be called to chair. I need a motion for adjourn.
I'll say, so move.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.